Now on BBC2, a mayor, a comedian and a rather red face. Angus, have I got news for you?
Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You, where this week's loser is presenting it. Yes, the words pot, kettle and smug git in for a long overdue kicking spring to mind. Elsewhere in the news this week, training in the heat of South Korea, England players question the wisdom of their sponsorship deal with Baco Foil. As the boom in cut-price flights continues, one operator shows off its cheapest seat yet. And in Kettering, there are signs that a batch of talcum powder may have been contaminated with concrete mix. On Ian Hislop's team, a comedian whose TV series Are You Dave Gorman tells of his worldwide search to find other Dave Gormans who share his name by going up to people and asking, "Are you Dave Gorman?" Please welcome Dave Gorman. And with Paul Merton tonight, a former Member of Parliament whose early ambition was to work in a reptile house, so ambition achieved tonight then, Ken Livingstone. And so for the reassuring comfort of starting with round one, Ian and Dave.
Prime Minister with Tony Blair. Lord Levy, fundraiser.
The Beckhams having a new extension built.
Oh, there's a man having his chips. Trying to join the Labour Party, probably. That's Ken. I think this is a thing about party funding.
This has been one story of the week, isn't it? But the one I'm really interested in, Angus, is... Now, you and this prostitute, how did you manage to get off paying her?
She didn't tell me that she's a prostitute.
She didn't tell you?
No. But you must have paid her for the article. I mean, I don't want to dwell on this, but... He made me groan all night. Yeah, but what are you doing? Reading the autocue? Angus was the best lover I've ever had, and you didn't pay her. This is just unbelievable. We could have kept going till breakfast. What are you doing? Talking about football?
I suppose you didn't know where to put your face, really, once you'd heard the story. Or did you just take it on the chin?
Right.
There was an awful lot of detail, wasn't there?
Yes, yes. Remind me about some of it.
There is, by the way, no need to adjust your set. My face is this red.
He always found the time to talk, even when he was in the studio filming his show. Want to make any calls?
I think that's the most libelous bit of the lot, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. That's him.
I wondered if she was wired. She was wired?
I don't think she was the only one that was wired.
Is there an agency called Slappers Are Us? You just sort of
I think there's
ring
quite
them
a few,
up.
yeah. Is that it, or do you want to... Because obviously there was another question that I was
There's a
asking
world
about.
war breaking out in India.
So the ethics committee that you were talking about, who's on it?
That was Lord Levy.
Right.
And Margaret Jay used to run the House of Lords, and they're going to check that all donations are above board to the Labour Party.
Right.
Are you convinced that this will clean up the Labour Party, then, this committee?
No.
You did describe yourself as a model of new Labour conformity.
Really? Oh, What was I on at the time?
Angus can sort you out. I want to see the £20 note, because there's no way you've spent it in the last week.
Didn't bring it with me, unfortunately. Sorry.
It's a lovely image, that, isn't it?
Yes. Well, why... Shall I quit while I'm down? This is Labour's new ethics committee. It isn't really. We're talking about a completely different story, but it was Labour's new ethics committee which will vet all donations over £5,000 to the party. One of Labour's most controversial donors was porn baron Richard Desmond. The Times recently printed a full list of Mr Desmond's publications, which include Big Girls, Mega Boobs, Big Ones International and the very best of Whoppers, which is also published under the title Stephen Byers' Autobiography.
Oh, it could be a list that you have for room service.
Paul and Ken, what's up?
Oh, this is the magician David Blaine. This is him in New York, isn't it? He stood on top of a pillar without moving, and then at the end of it, even with cardboard boxes underneath, that's a hell of a way to drop.
What did he do about his natural bodily functions up there for 48
Well,
hours?
oddly enough, I was going to ask you that very same question. You did see the answer in the footage.
Oh, he had a tube.
He did.
It went right up his trouser leg.
Did the people underneath know he had a tube?
I think it went into a little bag.
Really?
He did it in emulation of St Simon Stylites, didn't he? One of the early church fathers, who stood on a pillar for years.
You'd have terrible cramp, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he used to do it on one leg for bits of it.
Have you ever done it on one leg for bits?
No. And what's his next trick? You should know about this, Ken.
He's going to eat a newt. I mean, how am I supposed to know what he's doing?
No, he's going to jump from a helicopter into the Thames.
Does he need your permission to do that?
I have no powers at all. I mean...
Yes, it is the daredevil magician David Blaine whose latest stunt was to stand on top of an 80-foot pole for 35 hours. British viewers may remember Blaine's appearance with Eamon Holmes on GMTV, where he stared at him without speaking. Eamon later revealed, "I was worried he'd put a curse on me." He may well have done, as Eamon is still on GMTV. Ian and Dave, your incredible journey.
A lot of people playing I Spy.
That's John Burt.
That's where there's going to be another motorway next to the motorway.
Yep, this is Bert's idea.
Yes.
He's been employed by the government to do blue sky thinking, to really think things through. So he's come up with an idea that we'll have motorways in duplicate, right next to each other.
Yes, I haven't actually quite worked out how to collect the tolls.
All you have to do, if you're really desperate for the money, you just put a toll booth down like it's all over America. I can't see why it's a problem. We're not doing that in London because, I mean, people mostly knock them over. But then, we're only charging people who don't vote for me anyhow, so it's no problem.
Does this have something to do with your hatred for cars, though?
I hate your cars. I'm in a car most days. I mean, jumping out of cabs.
So it seems kind of strange that in 1989 you said, I hate cars. If I ever get any powers again, I'd ban the lot.
That stuff just gets made up.
Right.
I never believe what I read in the newspapers,
Right, no, I believe you.
In 1980...
And didn't you spend £6,000 on taxis in the last year?
No, I spent £2,000 on taxis.
And you spent £103 on a taxi for Helen Mirren.
Well, that was just a mistake. No one.
Do you know what a mistake is, Angus? Have you heard of that?
I'm going to give worse uses of public money, really.
Give me time.
Yes. This is Lord Bert's proposed system of new toll roads. The scheme in...
Keep going.
All right. The scheme involves drivers being charged a fee for using motorways with...
It says here that you played gangster rap on the stereo.
Really?
What's gangster rap? How does
no
that go?
idea. Ian, what's gangster rap?
Do you know, that was one of the few terms in the article I didn't understand.
Dave, you're young. What's gangster rap?
I haven't got the faintest idea.
We haven't got the faintest idea.
Really?
But
No.
I didn't put it on my stereo and you did.
Oh, well, there we are. The scheme involves...
Just because it's gone down there, I don't think it's going to work.
Looking forward to its re-emergence. The scheme involves drivers being charged a fee for using motorways, with the exception of the M25, where it'll be pay and display.
Really? You didn't do the pay bit, did you?
No. The idea...
I'm surprised you had a nerve to turn up this week, really. You knew it was going to be like this.
Well, I did, yes, because of you two.
Yes, in a way, it's our fault, isn't it?
I certainly felt to blame personally, didn't you?
Yes. Sorry.
Thank goodness I took a line of coke before I came on.
This idea, the idea we were talking about, will mean yet more work for Transport Secretary...
You don't think any of this stuff's going to be used, do you? Nobody gives a damn about Stephen Byers this week, Transport Secretary, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares.
Yes. Well, I'm learning that slowly, yes.
This must have been one of those days when Stephen Byers could have leaked some more news. We'll most probably wake up next week and find he's sold something else off.
Yes. And finally in this round, Paul and Ken, your total fabrication.
This is terrible, really. These chickens that were bred without feathers, so it's like your Sunday dinner walking around. I mean...
No, they bred them so that in the tropics you can keep them.
Yeah.
And they don't get too hot.
Really? That's horrible.
Yeah, it's totally unconvincing, isn't it?
And who's done
now
this?
teaching the chickens to eat sage and onion.
So what are some of the disadvantages of these birds that you saw pictures of?
They sing out a tune.
I should imagine they feel absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're completely shamefaced.
Yes. They get sunburn is actually the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, they turn red, yeah.
Yeah. Not dissimilar. They're not hardy enough to survive an English winter is the other drawback.
Neither would any of us running around naked all
Well, exactly.
the time.
I mean, you only have to look at a freezer in the supermarket. They're dead as mutton in there. I mean, clearly the cold doesn't agree with them at all.
What were some of the other genetic...
None of this is going to be used. I don't know. What are the other things that just move on quickly?
Genetically modified animals this week.
A giraffe with no neck, a horse that can
Yes.
speak, and a mouse that plays a mouth organ.
Yeah.
Move on. Next. Chickens with no clothes. Move on. Nuclear war's threatened this week.
Yes, you read about that then?
I couldn't find it in the papers.
Why does that not surprise me? This is the development of the world's first featherless chicken.
Yeah, we just said all that. Yeah.
According to the Daily Mail, on Tuesday, scientists have also developed a piglet with a fluorescent snout and organs suitable for human use. Apparently it's working behind the bar at the Queen Vic. So, at the end of that round...
We should be safe from you?
I believe so.
Do you watch EastEnders?
Oh, yes, almost.
Terrible at the moment, isn't it?
Oh,
Ian
dreadful.
Beale slept with a prostitute. She's threatening to blackmail him for money. So just not as lifelike as they used to be.
never happened in real life.
In real life.
No, it's true. So at the end of that round, the scores, you'll be delighted to know, are like the number of players in a full England squad practice match these days, 4-a-side. In round two, an array of witty and amusing headlines would have been nice, but instead we have to make do with ones like Pooty Poot Putin. Ian and Dave, what's that all about?
Well, this is the pet name of Bush for Putin,
Yes.
which actually I think is just an aid memoir, just Pooty Poot Putin. He's got them for all of them. Blairy, Blairy, Blair.
Yes, Blair has got a nickname as well, of course. Do you read
Here,
about
boy. What is it?
Lionel.
Yes, Lionel.
Yeah.
And the Mirror showed us how similar the two are. So what have Bush and Putin been up to this week?
Haven't they been negotiating a reduction in their nuclear arsenals so that they've only got enough to destroy each other 10 times over?
Well, it's a start, isn't it?
And who else is helping to reduce the stockpile of nuclear weapons?
Well, India and Pakistan, presumably. Yeah. Around about now, I think.
And haven't you got a new nickname, Ken?
Me?
According to the papers.
You've got a new nickname, haven't you?
Yes.
I generally haven't seen this. What am I called now?
Canopy Ken.
Canapé Ken? Seen
This was in the Independent.
That's not a nickname, that's a question.
This is President Bush's visit to Europe and his habit of using nicknames for people. In Berlin on Wednesday, one group of protesters greeted George Bush with a banner saying, "If you can read this, you're not the president." Paul and Ken, your tricky spinner, the shaving grace of Mr. Average.
This is one of those stories about how much the average man shaves in the course of a lifetime, and they've come up with some figure. If he didn't shave, his beard would reach from here to Manchester or London or whatever. So it's one of those stories, basically, about what the average man gets up to in his uneventful life.
Yes. What were the other fascinating facts?
It also said that the average man has sex twice a week, which with people like you around means that a lot of people getting nothing.
There were things like his final meal before exexecution.
Yes, he wants a steak.
Curiously.
The average man
Is the average man being executed? Gosh, I knew Blunkett was cracking down.
And 97% know who Mr. Blair is. 77% know who you are, apparently. Which is not bad.
That might
Recognition
go
factor.
up when they start paying the congestion charge, I think.
But you came second in a popularity poll, didn't you?
Yes, to the Pope, but it was a long time ago.
Did you feel, you know,
Well, it was
slightly
quite
aggrieved?
interesting. It was that Today Man of the Year thing. And it was 1982, and I was being pilloried in the press, hate mail coming in. I turned on the radio, I'm second to the Pope. You know.
What
I
did
thought
that tell you?
Not to believe what crap I read in the papers.
Didn't you think...
In all cases, or...?
Pretty much, I think, yeah.
So it's not true, any of it?
The basic traits.
Is that what you're saying? It's not true? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry.
It's not true, that's what you're saying?
Elements are true, elements are untrue.
There was an elephant in there? Where'd you get the stamina from? So which bits aren't true, then?
The elephants, actually, I was making it up. What were we talking about? Oh, yes. A survey.
I was very popular,
of
was
Mr.
where you
Average.
stopped.
Oh, that's, thank you, yes.
I wanted the question about the Roman transvestite this week.
Oh, yes, I did.
Did anyone read that?
Yeah.
It was just under all the stories about Angus, but it was rather good.
Remind me.
It was this... They found the remains of a Roman transvestite who lived happily in England. He belonged to the cult of this woman called Cybele, and all her followers used to go out into the streets, and if they'd been unfaithful, they would cut off their own testicles as a symbol of repentance.
Yes, madam.
Well, thank God we live in enlightened times.
Has anyone got a pair of nail scissors?
Yes, this is the profile of the average average British man
My
based
God,
on
we're
figures.
still on
I
that.
can't believe it.
Sort of wrapping it up. Based on figures from the Office of National Statistics, apparently the average man uses the toilet 6 times a day and the lino round the base another 10. When it comes to sex, the average man lasts 3 minutes and 1 second, the 1 second presumably being the foreplay. And the average man is
Or the
most
gangster
likely...
rap.
And the average man is most likely to have a heart attack on a Monday, especially if he's just seen the tabloids. Which mean observations signal the end of that sample, with both teams having difficulty coming to terms with the idea of leading, level as they are on 6. And so to the almost over-familiarity of our Odd One Out round, Paul and Ken, your international superheroes, Mike Tyson, Walt Disney, Suleiman the Magnificent and Ken Livingstone.
Mike Tyson, what's he famous for? He bit somebody's ear. Walt Disney woke up one morning feeling a little hoarse. Suleiman the Magnificent has been turned into some kind of blender. So I'd say that Ken's the odd one out.
Is it invading Jerusalem?
What do you mean? Mike Tyson has never invaded Jerusalem? I think I may have to give you this. The answer is that they're all pigeon fanciers. With the exception of Ken here, of course.
It's a newt fancy.
No, we picked you because you tried to reduce the number of pigeons in Trafalgar Square, didn't you?
Oh, yes, you're a pigeon murderer.
And then... I have to say, I had a letter saying that I was the most evil human being since Adolf Hitler, which I thought was slightly over the top myself.
Yes.
Yeah, particularly when it was signed Tony Blair.
Do you deny that you're a pigeon hater, then?
There are worse things.
The answer is that they're all pigeon fanciers, with the exception of Ken Livingstone. Many pigeon fanciers point to the heroic deeds which the birds performed in wartime. According to one expert, in order to bring crucial messages back from the trenches, pigeons were parachuted behind enemy lines. Obviously in the days before they could fly. Ian and Dave, Clint Eastwood, Jerry Springer, Sonny Bono and Ken Livingstone.
3 of them are appearing on Jerry Springer's show in a My Lover Isn't Human.
Is it a mayor question?
It might have to do with mayors, certainly, yes.
I think they're all mayors, because Clint Eastwood was the mayor of Carmel. Jerry Springer was a mayor of somewhere or other. Sonny Bono was a mayor. And Ken was sort of a mayor, really. One of them was thrown out. Was Jerry Springer thrown out of being a mayor?
Jerry Springer slept with a prostitute, but he did pay her. But he paid by cheque, and so he was found out.
If Sonny Bono wasn't a mayor, he was elected to Congress.
No, I'm going to have to tell you this. The answer is that they're all mayors who've sung on record, except Ken Livingstone, who does appear on Blur's Ernal Same, but as narrator.
Which I'm sure we're about to hear, aren't we?
I'm afraid we are. But,
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, how embarrassing to drag something like that up.
Yes. We can hear it now.
Not same, awoke from the same dream, in the same bed at the same time. I'm very pleased the way my backing group have done so well.
So Jerry Springer, I'm afraid, yes, he was mayor of Cincinnati and did actually record an album called Dr. Talk. Jerry Springer's show thrives on sordid revelations and confessions about personal misdemeanours. OK, that's enough of that one. Sonny Bono died in a skiing accident when he crashed into a tree. Clint Eastwood appeared in the musical Paint Your Wagon and sang the song I Talk to the Trees, which apparently included this line, look out, Sonny Bono's coming. All of which CD entertainment means at the end of this song and dance, they're still neck and neck, all having 6. And so to the round we deem our last. Missing words is what it features, thereby giving rise to the expression final missing words round. A stack of headlines wrenched from the dailies, including many less or more from this week's guest publication, the frankly enthralling Newt's Week. An American publication featuring all the news from across the pond. So get down and get with. Young, free, single and what?
Ready lies host of Topical News Quiz.
Young, free, single and newt.
A newt? No.
Personal ads column in the Newt.
It's not from
Good
Newsweek.
sense of humour.
Yes.
Has own pond.
Depressed.
Depressed is nearer. Totally fed up, yes. According to a new study, 2/3 of young people between the ages of 15 and 35 are depressed and unhappy.
What a shame.
Yes, you'd be upset. Next, what has a Dane caught?
Tim Henman.
Newts. Newts, 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 newts.
It's not actually from Newt's Week.
OK.
No.
It's a foreign story from Germany.
Hair newt. Wolfgang Newt.
Well, I have to give you one because you said
Helmut
hair.
Newton.
Schroeder's hair is the answer. Next, remote chance of what for women? Help yourself.
Is that what you said
You've
when
said
you
that
lay down?
before, haven't you?
I think it's very bad, really, to have bought the newspapers on. Imagine going to that kind of effort to, you know, I mean, I was as guilty of Ian, really, of sort of bringing on the front cover of the News of the World. I mean, it's really... To go to all that kind of effort is just unbelievable.
Is the wrong answer.
They're available in cream as well.
Are they? Excellent. Controlling TV viewing is the answer.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. It's men who hold on to the remote control in households, according to scientists.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was the answer to the question.
Was it?
Yes. According to a neuropsychologist at Maudsley Hospital...
You can't look me in the eye now, can you?
Well, I look you in the eye, that's all right. The only answer is to hide it, apparently, according to...
Really?
Yes. Neuropsychologist said that.
Did he?
Yeah. Next, I what last week? Why did I bother?
Book a hotel room? Got me Barclay card dirty?
Hire the PR man.
Yeah, you must be paying him a fortune.
Thank goodness he's kept you out the press.
I made a speech, is the answer. Next, what? A rich source of vitamins?
It's just too easy.
Mealworms.
Mealworms,
Crickets.
Newt.
It's not from Newt's Week.
Vitamin pills.
No, even more extraordinary. Your tights. This is a new range of health clothes, including tights that feed vitamins into your legs.
This is all raw material for you, isn't it?
It's true, you add tablets to them.
Do you?
Yes. And finally, Greek frogs get what?
Newt's sent to them specially to Athens so they don't have to bother coming over here for them.
Dual nationality passports.
This is, in fact, Italian leader's goat. This is actually a Greek play entitled The Frogs, and not an unpleasant racist
Aristophanes'
reference.
The Frogs.
Exactly.
Oh.
That one that you know oh so well.
It's very good, The Frogs.
Is it? Tell us about it. No, haven't got time, sorry.
All right, I'll tell you another story I know quite well.
OK.
I've got a copy of my T-shirt over there.
All of which natural rambling brings an end to tonight's field trip, and the scores are quite simply 7-all. On which conclusive note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Dave Gorman, Paul Merton and Ken Livingstone. And I leave you with news that there's relief all round as EasyJet's new super economy flight touches down in Calcutta. Filming is cancelled on the title sequence of Hawaii Five-0 the movie after someone steals the canoe. And there are suspicions in Gaza that Yasser Arafat may have gone into hiding. Good night.